الرحمن الرحيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل لعبادي الذين آمنوا يقيموا الصلاة وينفقوا مما رزقناهم سرا وعلانية من قبل أن يأتي يوم لا بيع فيه ولا خلال. الله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وأنزل من السماء ماء فأخرج به من الثمرات رزقا لكم وسخر لكم الفلك لتجري في البحر بأمره وسخر لكم الأنهار وسخر لكم الشمس والقمر دائبين وسخر لكم الليل والنهار وآتاكم من كل ما سألتموه وإن تعدوا نعمة الله لا تحصوها إن الإنسان لظلوم كفار. وإذ قال إبراهيم رب اجعل هذا البلد آمنا واجنبني وبني بني أن نعبد الأصنام رب إنهن أضللن كثيرا من الناس فمن تبعني فإنه مني ومن عصاني فإنك غفور رحيم. ربنا إني أسكنت من ذريتي بواد غير ذي زرع عند بيتك المحرم ربنا ليقيموا الصلاة فاجعل أفئدة من الناس تهوي إليهم وارزقهم من الثمرات لعلهم يشكرون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. We congratulate all the mu'mineen, the Shia of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, and we congratulate our Imam Mahdi alayhi salam for the auspicious occasions of Sha'ban, especially the birthday of Imam Hussain, Imam Sajjad, and Abu al-Fadl Al-Abbas alayhim salam. And inshallah tonight we try to have a discussion around the famous hadith of Husaynun minni wa ana min Hussain. Last night we had this discussion in another center, and I went through the points regarding this hadith very quickly. Inshallah tonight I'll mention those points very quickly as well, but we focus on one of the parts of this hadith and see inshallah how much we can learn from that and if there are any questions. So Husaynun minni wa ana min Hussain, who can translate this? Somebody can translate it in English? Ali, can you translate it? No? Yes. That's right. Ahsant. The other Ali helped. So Hussain is, that's what they translated, that Hussain is from me and I am from Hussain. So the question is this, that when you say somebody is from me, what do you mean? What do you mean by somebody is from me? One ayah that we did not actually use last night is this, one of the verses I just recited. That Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he is talking about his purpose of going to Mecca and rebuilding the house of Allah and making that place for a place for worshipping. And also Ibrahim alayhi salam speaks about his dhurriya, from his descendants. Who are the descendants? That he says that my descendants, as long as they are in the right path, they are from me. Says those ones that are فَمَنْ تَبِعَنِي فَإِنَّهُ مِنِّي. So many translated this, Hussein is from me, as like Hussein is my grandson, which is not the best way of saying it. The genetic link is not the issue. We can see that Ibrahim alayhi salam says that my lineage, in fact, if there are any of them, any of the people, if there, or my lineage, any of them is not following me, I don't consider that person minni, not that person from me. So it's not about the genetic link. It's not something that we are going to value a lot just because genetically somebody is related to somebody else. What is important? So this hadith, as we know, is a very authentic hadith. It's very important to learn this type of narration and learn it deeply, because Quran, the same way like we said that Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam say something, we need to match it with Quran and match Quran with Ahadith and understand the depth of it. That's what we always say. So Quran is using this minni here about the story of Ibrahim, is using minni about the story of Talut that we mentioned last night. That Talut, when went there to the river, said, whoever drinks from this river is not from me, and whoever doesn't drink is from me. Who is Talut in English? For our brother Miroslav is sitting there, doesn't know who Talut is. Who is it? Saul. That's right. Saul is Talut. And who was the one with Saul, that against Saul at the time? And one of Saul's soldiers killed him. What was the story? Goliath. Yes, Goliath, and the story of biblical. So Goliath, and his soldier was David. Yeah, Dawood alayhi salam was David. So Talut or Saul was the one that took his soldiers and they went for the test, whatever the test was. Was it a test spiritual? Was the test for the sake of see who is going to listen to him? So he wanted to check their ability, their ability to listen to him. Maybe that was the reason. Anyway, so you are thirsty. When you are thirsty, the first thing you would do, you get to water, you want to drink as much as possible. Imagine you're going somewhere and you are so thirsty, you get the water and you want to drink it. And Talut said to his people, no, you can just drink a little bit, as much as a handful, that's it. More than that, if you drink, get out of my soldiers, my army. You're not my army anymore. This is very harsh. So the question first here is that, to dissect this part before we move forward, is that why is Talut alayhi salam, why is he considering this condition so important in a way that he says, you accept this, you are my soldier. You don't accept it, you get out of here. You're not part of my team. Why that's important? Anybody knows? Why does that matter?
He wanted to differentiate the soldiers, and he wanted to remove all the ones who would bring the morale down if they ran away in battle.
That's right. So it's about obedience. That's the thing. In religion is different from the people who have, for example, other agendas in their life or in their movement. An army that has attack a city because they want to kill more, get more from them, earn money, earn things, booties and all that. Their ultimate purpose, ultimate desire is to get as much as possible from those people. It doesn't matter the morality, it doesn't matter what happens in future. But the religious movement is not about that. Religion thinks about, okay, these people are in front of me, like even Imam Hussain alayhi salam himself in the Battle of Karbala, where he knows for sure that he's going to get killed. He says himself, look, we're going to get killed for sure. But despite the situation being very dire and very difficult, and his family is going to be tortured, everything is against him. He does not give up on people. He still tries to bring more people part of this minni, part of my team. He says, look, I want more people to be my team, because being my team means being from the team of Allah, being successful in the hereafter. That's what matters. For Imam, that's what matters. And the same thing with Talut. Talut doesn't say, look, okay, who cares? Somebody drinks less, somebody drinks more, doesn't matter. At the end, I want to bring as many as possible to my army, so we want to beat them. So he does it this way, and then they get there, there is just a small group of them left. Most of them had to be deleted from the list of the army soldiers. The soldiers all gone. He ends up with a small group. And what happens? They become successful. They win. And that's what the Quran says, كَم مِّن فِئَةٍ قَلِيلَةٍ غَلَبَتْ فِئَةٍ كَثِيرَةٍ. There are so many, with the permission of Allah, with the will of Allah, there are so many small groups that they win over the strong and many soldiers of their enemies in front of them. They beat them with the power of their faith. The faith is the one that it has the upper hand. And the important thing is, a religious person does not just think about what's going to happen now. Otherwise, Imam Hussain alayhi salam would have said, look, take it easy. You want to kill me? I don't want to get killed. Okay, fine. Sometimes we don't understand the depth of the problem. I get sometimes quite frustrated with this. Some people say things very silly, often from non-Shia, but even from Shia sometimes. They say silly things. They say, what? Come on, Yazid didn't do this, didn't do that, and it's okay. Imam alayhi salam should have said, fine, let's just be friends for now. It was a mistake by, for example, Ibn Ziyad. They say silly things. First of all, Yazid did not want Imam Hussain alayhi salam just for the sake of, for example, a word. He wanted bay'ah in a way that Imam alayhi salam becomes humiliated in front of everybody. He becomes humbled in front of everybody. That's what he wanted. Secondly, Yazid was the ultimate fasad, the ultimate corruption, the ultimate immorality. Yazid is somebody who committed adultery with his own, he did incest with his own family. Yazid's situation was so bad that in Sunni books, not in Shia, in Sunni books, when the historian is writing, he says, look, these bets I cannot say it. It's so bad that I cannot even say it. They say. So talking about, as I say, it's very frustrating for somebody saying these things and we hear it. Talking about, they say these things. They say, oh, Yazid, he wasn't that bad. Or Yazid, he could have been forgiven. How do you know? Or Yazid didn't want to kill Imam Hussain. It was this Ibn Ziyad, Lanatullah alayh, that he did that. Nonsense. Imam Hussain alayhi salam did not even wish to face this guy. Because what person who does that to his own maharam, to his own family, he does incest, he kills people without any, reservations or anything like that. He killed anybody he felt like it. Do you think he's not going to do that to Imam Hussain alayhi salam, his family in front of him? So if he took Imam alayhi salam to his palace and then he did what he did, it would have been much worse, because then it would have been humiliation. Because some people say, why is Imam alayhi salam saying that, for example, hayhad min al-dhillah? You here, Yazid is in Sham, and just say bay'ah and move on. No. If at the time when you gave bay'ah, it was your word. You've given your word, then that means humility. That means you got to go down. That means you got to accept lots of things. That means you got to see things and close your mouth. And that's the situation. And that's what you can see, the humiliation that nowadays you see with so-called Muslims around the world is because of that. So the guy is sitting there, and a person comes and sits in front of him or her, and that person clearly has stated that I am against you, I want to kill you, I don't consider you as a human, now I'm sorry I say these things, but these are things that you obviously you would hear and see. You are not even a proper human, you're like an animal. I want to take your house, I want to take your property, I want to kill you. He says all of these things, has said it, has stated these things without any problem. And then the other guy, the opposite from so-called Muslim world, sits with this person's hand, shakes hands, gives his respect to them, acts like nothing is wrong, we're all friends, there's no problem at all. This is humility. The humility that and that's why in this current situation you see often people who have any link to Shia, not only being Shia, any link to Shia, any version of Shia, they are totally away from accepting humility, unless they are corrupt themselves. As you know, there are other versions of Shia, like recently the Imam of Ismailiyah died, one of their Imams, and then the new one comes. And if you look at their life, inshallah we'll talk about some of the fake saviors of Mahdi, this fake one. Inshallah we'll talk about it for the event of 15th of Sha'ban. We'll talk about that. That's the topic, inshallah, we'll talk about. And that one of them, obviously, the movement or the religion of Ismailiyah. And it's weird when you look at the background and how the evolution that they did in their religion, and from where they went to where. And their Imam became a fancy guy with a lot of money that is a figure. Sometimes you think, come on, the Queen is more Muslim than you, or before she died. Look at the royal family, probably more religious than this person, because from religion nothing left. It's just a name. Their prayer is different. They don't go to Hajj, and lots of things. They change everything about their religion. So humility is something that comes from acceptance of those things, and the big difference is that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, sallu ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad, made it clear that the purpose of my message, the continuation of my message, the essence of my message is in Hussein. Imam Hussain alayhi salam was all of that. That's why Husaynun minni wa ana min Hussein. Last time we went through all the possibilities that this hadith could bear, and important thing is to understand what Imam alayhi salam is to the world. Some people come and talk about the Shahada of Imam alayhi salam as another thing, and they even compare. They say, look, in the history there are some other people that they got killed brutally. even worse than the family of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Because you don't understand who you're talking about. First, you have to raise your understanding, your ma'rifah about who you're talking about. Then you can talk about the calamity. Then you can say what is the problem in, for example, Shahada of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. What is the importance of Imam Hussain alayhi salam? First, you have to understand. Some of these people, that they are very superficial, and they say, oh yeah, you know, yeah, it was bad. It was a bad thing, you know, but you don't need to shout for so many years. You don't need to cry for all these years. You don't need to remember your Imam in this way every Muharram. I tell them this. I mean, these people, some of these I know. I've seen them. They love a singer. A singer. And the guy is a singer, nothing but a singer. Nothing. He's a singer. I think the people from Iranian community sitting here, I don't know what I'm talking about. Imagine this guy, and his son is a singer, isn't he? He's a very famous, the most famous singer in Iran, yeah? He died, yeah? Imagine him and his son. Just, they're singers. Okay, I appreciate they're very good singers. In singing, they're perfect. Let's say they're perfect, okay? But they're singers. Imagine this singer and his son, who's a singer, they all get killed. Not that brutally, but unfairly they get killed by a random guy who had no purpose, nothing. A low-life person goes and kills them. These people that they love the singer, they will cry for him and they get majalis and this and that for years and years and years to come. They always remember him. The only reason that the memory of these guys go down is because they're not living in the heart of people like Imam Hussain alayhi salam does. Otherwise, if these people lived long life, they would cry for this singer every year, if not longer, if not more than a year, once a year. Because they value this singer so much. I don't have any fight with them, by the way. I'm just saying that's how they are. As we say, hani'an lakum. Sahtan. Or Farsi, you say nushajan. Let them enjoy, nushajan. But the important thing is this, that if you know who is getting killed in Ashura, on the day of Ashura, who is getting killed? If you understand the status of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, then you have to see how you react. Then you yourself would react the way you should react. You don't need somebody to push you. Our problem is that often we don't get enough ma'rifah about our belief. We get love, of course. Most of Shia, if you give them the name of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, they got tears in their eyes. You give the name of Fatima salamullah alayha, they got tears in their eyes. That's how we are. Their love is in our heart, engraved. But that's good, that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. That's very good. But you got to remember, if somebody comes from this door, not from the usual door and fighting with you, they come from the door of friendship, and they tell your child, your son, your daughter, that has not grown that much with the love of Ahlul Bayt. It wasn't like you who, for years and years and years, you had this love in your heart. They have the love, but not engraved that much yet. And it tells them the same thing. It's okay. It was unfair. It was really bad. We really feel sorry. I've seen people saying that. Oh, we really feel sorry for Ali al-Asghar, getting killed on that day, the 6 months, baby of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. They feel sorry. But come on, every year you all remember these things, you cry for it, you beat yourself. That's not right. Well, because you don't even know what you're talking about. You don't even know what the status of Imam Hussain alayhi salam is. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the first and the best creation of Allah. Anybody has any doubt amongst Muslims about that? Anybody amongst Muslims has any doubt that the Prophet ﷺ is the best creation of Allah and is the first creation of Allah in the light version of that, in the version of the spiritual version of it. Yes? أَوَّلُ مَا خَلَقَ اللَّهُ نُورِ. Rasul ﷺ himself, he says, the first thing was created is my light, is my nur. That he was a prophet, Adam was not even created. Kuntu nabiyyan, I was a prophet and Adam was not even shaped properly. This prophet, the top of the top, the one that there is nobody better than him, the one that Quran says, فَكَانَ قَابَ قَوْسَيْنِ أَوْ أَدْنَى, gets so close to Allah Ta'ala, so close. The one that أسرى بعبدي ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى. That person says, حسين مني وأنا من حسين. Learn from the source. Learn from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You want to get ma'rifah, go see what the Prophet says that I am from Hussein. How can you even... I think many of ulama, they have got to this sentence and they could not digest it. They sit there and think, how is that? The Prophet is from Hussein. So they come and they explain it. They say, for example, that means that the religion of the Prophet was survived and saved by Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Like they say in Arabic, for example, they say, Al-Islam bad'uhu Muhammadi wa baqa'uhu Husayni. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. The start of Islam is with Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, and the survival and the endurance of that religion in the history is because of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Yes, of course, we accept that. But there are other things that we can say. Because the Prophet ﷺ, based on the nas of Quran, does not say anything but wahy. وَمَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ وَحْيٌ إِلَّا يُوحَىٰ. Anything I say is wahy. Anything the Prophet says is the word of Allah. So he's not going to say something just because this is my grandson, this is my beloved, child. No. Anything that he says is the word of Allah. So when Imam alayhi salam is from Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, you can accept other things from this, other consequences from this sentence of the Prophet. I'm not going to go through the possibilities of what it means, وَأَنَا مِنْ Hussain, which you could be in a very nutshell. I just say that أَنَا مِنْ Hussain could be because it says that I am with Hussein. So أنا من Hussein in Arabic could mean أنا مع Hussein. So Al-Hussein means that I'm with him everywhere he goes, I'm there. Or it could be the fact that this min is what we call min zaida, which means that it's just for emphasis. So أنا من Hussein means أنا نفس الحسين. I am Hussein. It's like we are the same. Like the same way that in Ayah Mubahala says Anfusana wa Anfusakum, which means that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa Imam Ali alayhi salam, they are the same nafs, they are the same in the soul, spiritual. They've got this unity. These are things that need explanation and they take time. Or we can say that this is the Ana min Hussein, there is something deleted there. Like for example, that we just said, the word baqa means the existence, the endurance, to remain. So he says, Husaynun minni wa ana min Husayn. Means baqa'ul Husayn minni wa baqa'i min Husayn. That sort of thing you can say in Arabic. So there are different ways of understanding this. Or the other one that I say, the ajr was missing. What we call the word that was deleted, kalimatul mahthufa, is the one that was deleted, is ajr, which is based on the Quran. When he says, Quran says, قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِلَّا الْمَوَدَّةَ فِي الْقُرْبَى. The ajr, the reward of the Prophet is in the loving of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. You can say it like that. So different ways you can say it, but at the end of the day, you've got to remember when somebody is disrespecting Imam Hussain alayhi salam, Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, is disrespecting the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because this nafs of Rasul, the one that was killing Imam alayhi salam in Karbala, was killing Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This was killing of the Prophet. That's why he emphasizes lahmuhum lahmi wa damuhum dami. Means that if you're killing him, you're torturing him, you're disrespecting him, anything you're doing to him is you're doing it to me. There is no difference. And that's the message, that's the important message of being from Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's the important message of being from the party of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If we are in our own version, in our own level, if we are good enough, we can inshallah get to the stage that we are part of Ahlul Bayt. We are, inshallah, if you can be with them, and Imam Zaman alayhi salam will have these people. The same way that Talut alayhi salam said these people are minni. The same thing that Ibrahim alayhi salam says, فَمَنْ تَبِعَنِي فَإِنَّهُ مِنِّي. Whoever follows me is from me. The same way Imam Zaman alayhi salam will say that those people have this condition, فَإِنَّهُمْ مِنِّي. They are from me. And when you are from Ahlul Bayt, then there is nothing to worry, because anything happens to us as if happened to them. They will feel our pain. They will feel, that's the word of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. They will feel our troubles. They will feel it as if it's their own trouble. That's why Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, they have got numerous riwayat that they are looking into our life. Imam Zaman alayhi salam is reviewing our life on a regular basis. He looks at our life, says, there's a problem, I'll sort it out. There is here a marriage problem, I'll sort it out. This person needs, for example, wealth and he's got financial problem, I'll sort it out. They are into our life. They are monitoring our life on a regular basis. This is based on Quran. This is based on Riwayah, not something that we're just feeling too emotional and we're saying it. Inshallah, we don't have time to go through all those things. So for a couple of minutes, about 4 minutes or so, I think we've got until Adhan about 4 minutes. If anybody has any question, Bismillah, we can answer. Otherwise, we can give others some time to get ready for Salah as well. Anybody has any questions? No questions? Yes, Bismillah, Sheikh Ali. For Tahara? No. So, our brother Ali here, because we just had the session for children, the Saturday school, and we talked about praying, Salah, and wudu. He's asking a question about wudu. He says, when you wudu, you have niyyah. Do you need to say that what is my niyyah? Is it for Tahara or not? No. As long as you're doing it for the sake of Allah, that's enough. You don't even have to say it. You know that you're making wudu for the sake of Allah. Like what's the other version? You're not making wudu for getting cooler. That's batil. Because your niyyah is not for the sake of Allah. It's not qurbatan ilallah. Your wudu is not because you want to clean yourself. Cleaning is fine. You have to do it. It's something that we really need cleaning. You wash yourself, clean everything. But wudu part is for the sake of Allah. That's why in wudu we have to be careful about how much water we use, because it's for the sake of Allah. It's not for cleaning. It's not for enjoying ourselves, playing with water. You know, that's one of the things that we have been said, that for wudu you shouldn't use more than 1 sa'. Sa' in Arabic means 750 gram, like about less than a liter, less than a liter maximum. So you've got to be careful not to use too much water. Yeah. So wudu, as long as you know is for the sake of Allah, then it's okay. And it's better to do with this general niyyah. When you do wudu, do with a general intention. Yes? That then you can do anything that you can do with wudu. Yeah, you can touch Quran, you can recite Quran, put this thawab for it, and of course you can do salah with it, pray with it. Okay, that was obviously not related to the topic, but that's a very good question. Any other question in 1 minute? No? صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.